Nobody in the audience, and do we have anybody on Zoom? And are we recording? How come it says that up on the screen then?
Oh, because it's just not, that's not the recording.
Okay.
It's just this, it just hasn't loaded yet.
Very good. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes or?
I didn't see a problem with them, but I wasn't here, so I can't comment.
I read them and they're fine.
Okay, do you want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes.
Second.
Okay. Good. Rachel, board communications?
Nope.
Okay. Good. This should be a pretty quick one. We have no public comments. Zipping right along. Okay, Rachel, the boardwalk update.
Yeah, so we are currently at 105,000, just over that. We got two very large donations of $50,000, so that
Thank you again,
definitely helped us.
Are we writing thank you notes to those people?
Yep, they're already out.
Okay, good.
Everyone who has donated has a thank you note
Good.
or letter. So the bigger ones had handwritten notes as well, and then
Okay,
the rest all got letters, so.
Rachel, do we have an update from the preservation group?
I forgot to ask maybe
That's
for
okay.
here.
Okay. I'll
And
shoot you an
I've
email.
been so busy the past 2 weeks, I don't pay attention to anything.
That's okay. I'll shoot
Okay,
her an email tomorrow.
maybe you could add it in your like quick
Mhm.
synopsis or something. Yeah. Okay, good. Farmers market booth?
Yeah, so we have a farmer's market booth. I spoke to Hannah August 13th. Susan, you said you were
okay, yeah, I can
on board
probably
to be
yeah.
there. I could be there. Anyone else? I mean, it's not like we need everyone there.
We're just sitting, just
Yeah,
doing things,
yep.
okay.
So I will, if you'll be there for sure, let me get one other person and
Yeah, I'll be
myself.
there,
I'll
yeah.
email you. You can get like a little tent, so it's
With
not
my-
baking in the sun.
Bike trip changes across the UP, I'll be there.
Nice. And do you have some brochures to take or? some
Yeah, we
handouts
have a
or
lot.
something? Okay, good.
Do you have brochures?
Yeah, you want
Here?
some?
Yeah, I'd like to get some, actually.
Does anybody else need some? Do you need any more, Susan?
Yeah, so I've given out, I went to that one meeting and gave out a ton of them.
Good.
I haven't talked to the Wolves yet because I've been to their house twice and nobody was home, so I didn't want to leave, I wanted to, although taxes all got, city taxes each got one of the, things, so people should be aware.
Let's see. Rachel, do you want to talk about what the next steps are on that?
For the fundraising?
Yeah,
I mean, I say our goal for the summer is to get the word out, to
Yeah.
continue what we're doing. I mean, you can't,
Yeah, and my 2 cents on that is gonna be 600 is not enough.
I agree.
And-
we're kind of a long way away.
Well, but what I'm getting, I mean, there's a goal number there, but that number is short.
Yes.
Just in today's world, the way things are, that number is short.
And based on the viewing.
Trust me, I am in that trade and I'm double checking my estimates on a lot of different things because we're pricing things
Mhm.
way above and beyond where we ever have.
Like, I think that
So
platform.
I think that
Yeah.
that goal we're shooting for is probably more in the 8-9 range.
Mhm.
I don't think we'll hit, I don't think it's 1 million.
Just for the
but
West Arm.
Just for the West Arm. Yeah, it's probably, if you want to do the entire project, you're probably at 1.2, 1.3 for the entire project.
Here's where I think we're at kind of a hitch, is a lot of people said they're excited, they want to donate. How do we close the sale, or get commitments?
Well, I know the Bluff people are not gonna commit until, I mean, that has gotten to be John, we gotta talk with the city. I didn't realize that the process, in order, if you wanna cut on city property in front of your, first of all, you have to pay the city $500, which I think is a ripoff. You're already paying the salaries of those people to come and tell you, yeah, you can cut. And it's so complicated, John. I was shocked. I mean, we own in front of our place, but until they clean that bluff up, I don't think Bluff people they're not interested in donating. It's,
Does everybody
That
know-
bluff preservation thing it's above me. And it's
yeah, it's a
a
mess.
difficult situation because there's so many different avenues of the bluff. There's areas that the
Yeah,
bluff control, the city controls, There's areas that has nothing to do with the city.
Right, on west,
On the
supposedly on
westerly
west,
end,
yeah, yeah.
even down
yeah.
to this end, there's sections in the middle that the bluff, or that the city does have some.
Except the city, you know, I've been walking up and down the boardwalk and, you know, those people, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people,
But isn't
but they're not gonna.
I don't know 100%.
Yeah.
But I think most of the boardwalk, except for a small section, is privately owned, up or down.
Up and
However
down.
it, however
Right
it lays
where
out.
that platform is
City.
city, below it is private. Well, you know, if I'm on the
Well, I think where
boardwalk,
the platform is straight down, it's city.
right,
Like where they cut
But
those trees down.
easterly
Easter is.
towards Gardner, I
Negus
think
Stacks
is,
and the
majority is
Gargoyle.
private. Down
Right,
through there.
But in order to trim on that,
You have to go through a process.
It's, I mean,
They've been working on the process for 3
Victor,
years.
you know something, I talked to my neighbor,
And
Russ, it's like, I mean, Victor sent me the thing. It would take you 3 freaking years and really the person who's in charge of that is that.
I'm not gonna sit here and pull strings with you.
Yeah,
I don't agree with,
but John, we got, you know, something, we have got to change that. I mean, it's just like, really, you're paying $500 for that guy to come and say, and I have
that's a
a,
different, Susan, honestly, I love you, but that's a different argument.
well, it's
I
a
mean, as
different
far as getting
argument, but.
the boardwalk thing going, I think when we're talking to people, we need to address that 600 is not the number.
Except those people that I
We
talked
need
to.
to, we need
Oh, I
to,
agree.
we
but-
need to raise as much as we can possibly raise.
Well, I don't think anybody on the bluff, I don't know if Allison agrees with
I
me.
agree.
It's
and
like, okay, we're
someone-
not doing anything to the boardwalk or the bluff until the city takes responsibility. I mean, think, John, of when you grew up, what that bluff looked like. It was absolutely gorgeous.
I don't disagree with you.
Isn't like 80% of it privately owned? now?
No, it's, the school owns part
At
of it.
East Bluff?
Well, yeah, for the most part, East Bluff, we're in the Boulder Rock area, yes.
Mhm.
The majority of it is privately owned. I believe. Up or down, whether you guys, some of you guys
It's-
own
it's
down
where
over,
I live.
some of you guys own down over the,
All the
some
way
of the guys
from
down below own up to the road.
All the way to.
it's-
Each one's a little different.
Yeah.
but-
Each one's a little different across there,
Yeah,
yeah.
but all the way from
I've
State
done work in
Road.
the backyards, a lot of those places, they're all different in where property
But
lines
correct
are.
me if I'm wrong, you don't need a permit to cut on your own property.
No, but
You
if
don't.
if you wanna cut on the city property, which is from State Street or State Road, State Street, all the way to where, my neighbor lives, like we own it in front of our major house, but we don't own in front of the extra lot that we have. But that's city all the way down. I mean, that's city,
along West Hill,
not,
yes.
yeah, not all the way down.
Like where it's legally trimmed
It's-
right now.
Where, what do you call that, John? Right away or what?
Well, it's the,
Yeah, whatever.
well, basically up behind Small Batch. You guys,
Right, we own all the way
The
up
cupola,
that
the
bluff,
cupola
except
home.
that small batch.
Yeah.
We
Small
let
Batch Cupola
Dale,
House.
we
area
let
right
Dale
there,
have his
yes.
garden 10 or 12 feet over
Yep.
it, and that's fine with us. But next to it, the city owns, that guy owns up to wherever, what do you call that when the city owns, you know, right away or whatever it is?
Yep.
But they could take that out and clean it up. It looks terrible.
And around
that's-
the platform.
Around the
one lady
platform,
says
really?
she's sick of looking at a crime scene every day.
It's
Yeah.
it's an
So it
absolute,
looks.
and you know something,
So
somebody.
here's-
just-
I
I'll
did
go.
ask Victor about that, you guys, and he said that they cannot cut those 6-foot stumps down because it may end up being litigated.
By who?
Well, the city is gonna sue, I think they're suing the person that cut them down, and then that person can sue the homeowner, is what Victor told me.
So where, what?
in what area?
Stumps- What are you talking, where is you?
Someone right
area.
before 4th of July.
You've been gone, you didn't see
illegally
it yet.
trimmed.
Oh, no, I saw, you know, something, that is a bunch of, that is such a bunch of bullshit, excuse me, but this city has so many problems and they're going to spend money to litigate when that whole,
No,
I
the
mean-
city,
What area?
the city
Right
isn't
on-
litigating,
It's right near
they're
the board.
fining
It-
them, and then the
Whole
other people,
platform.
yeah, they're
Legally
fining them
trimmed.
$1,000 a
platform.
tree.
And the people who are being fined, we're going to
Cut
give
on
a very
city
large
property?
donation.
yeah, they're
And now
done, they're done. And you
Yeah,
know what the
city
joke
property,
is?
And they were down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
I
the
just
city
talked to
is
her.
suing the company that did it, and then that company will most likely sue that family.
and you know something that, I don't think
and their
that's-
donation would be
yeah, yeah.
higher than.
That
the fine
donation
that they
is gone,
received.
and guess what? If there's one
And they're
tree,
even contemplating moving.
Yeah.
They're so fed up.
Yeah.
Is that the one on the corner?
and then the one tree that they're
Those are-
talking about, that tree I mean, that should have been taken
Oh, no,
out.
we're for, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, and that tree is on their property,
Is that
not
the
on
one
the
that's
city's.
on the
Yeah.
west corner?
East.
It's, you know where John, when you were growing up, it was Doc Marshall's house, you remember? Okay, that's the
No,
house.
I don't.
Unfortunately, though, that's a city, I mean, it is gonna hinder the process,
We're done.
for sure.
We're done with, those people
Yeah,
are
I
done.
mean,
and
it
they
is
will
gonna
not do
end
anything
up those,
now.
but
Yeah.
if they have a problem with the vegetation management, that's where they're going, they should go to city council and voice their concern.
You know something, they've been working
Yeah.
with the city
For
for
3
three
years.
frickin'
And
years.
they
with-
have to create a plan that
They
they
have a-
wanted to plant with their own money.
They have landscaping that's, it's just like, you gotta be
You
kidding.
don't hear anything about it.
Yeah, they've been working
This is
with,
all through, it gets referred to Ben and then
it's all Ben
Well,
who's jerking people around.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
being
like.
recorded.
My
isn't
point
it?
is, it's just not the park's fault, like, there's nothing.
No, it's not,
You'll be
it's
able to
not,
do it
it's
this
not our,
time.
It's not, but it
Unfortunately,
affects
it's
the
not-
board.
Yeah,
it's not.
right, yeah, like,
And
it's
at the end
definitely
of the
But I
day,
gonna
it
hear,
affects the
trust me, I
fundraising.
hear what you're saying, and I,
John,
me
that
sitting
used-
on council,
Yeah.
I'll look into it, I can honestly tell you that,
Yeah.
because
That used
just
to be
because I have a
beautiful, John.
problem with a few things.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
Susan,
and-
would you come to city council and?
You know something, I'm not going to, our property, like 10 years ago, John, when they tried to say, when that awful time Richard said, okay, even if you own it, you gotta go through the city, and we said,
Yeah.
okay, guess what, our lawyers are coming. But we take care of the property, but really, think back when you were a kid. Everybody on the bluff took care of it. The city never had to pay any of that money. They took care of all of it, and it wasn't a big deal. Fred Goody would go up and say, oh, yeah, that's okay, yeah, well, whatever, but yeah.
From here, what it would be is if you wanted to bring up to Victor to bring it up to council,
Yes.
that's what you would. need to
Do me, all right, I'll just say this. Email me short version of,
You know something, all I'm
Some
saying
stuff.
is the
no,
people
but
I.
just email me it,
Yeah.
and I will, because I have my own little issues,
Right,
but it's at a little different level.
yeah.
So just bring it to me, and then I can see what I can do
Well, and you know something.
behind the scenes, so to
And
speak.
I heard.
It's still gotta go through a process, but let me see what I can do behind the scenes, because there are some things that are gonna manipulate how some of this
Well,
whole
ask-
thing plays out.
Well,
And
ask
that's-
Victor
yeah.
about what's happening. I heard that Mark Keller, who we all know Mark, he's a great guy, that he's the one in trouble. Really, the city is going to go after a guy who came, and I don't know whether he did it illegally, but I thought the city came in. When I came back, I thought, oh my God, the
I
city
did
Well,
came
too.
off a little
Yeah.
bit,
But the
so we can
unfortunate-
have the view.
Not knowing anything that's happened, the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing is, if they did something on city property, that's wrong.
Okay, but,
Black and white, that is just wrong.
okay, but ask your dad, you
No,
know,
Susan,
No.
I get it, but I'm
Right.
saying, if they did something on city property, that's just wrong. There's a
Right, okay.
process, unfortunately, the process sucks, I'm not gonna disagree with it.
right,
But
okay.
But
the route
if
to
they
changing
did
the
something-
process is you
Okay,
send
but
a
let
note
me-
to
let me
John,
tell you
John
this,
takes it
John.
to
Yeah, but
whoever.
Let
send
me
it-
ask you this, if there's really lawsuits, I don't know anything about that.
Well,
You
I'm
know
gonna,
the big new house?
I'm gonna try
Okay,
to
they
make sure
trim-
that doesn't,
They
Send me your
trimmed
stuff.
they trimmed down, because I walked down there and it was dross, and I said, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're taking all this stuff down. So then your dad walked by my house about a week later, and I said, John, what happened down there? Did they, oh yeah, they trimmed city property, they weren't supposed to. Okay, were they sued? Because if that's the true story, and they weren't sued, I'm gonna call Mark
You
Keller and
guys,
say,
I think
hey,
we've got to
you
get
know,
back to part
yeah,
of
it's
business.
just
So if
like-
you would send an
No.
email to John, John's gonna
just
run
send me your
with it.
stuff and let me
I
see
don't
what I
really
can
have-
manipulate,
all
what I can do behind closed
Yeah,
doors,
John,
so to
I really
speak.
don't have any stuff except that I'm disappointed with the city and the way they take care of the
I
city.
think though,
property.
Susan, you
Yeah.
can put in a note to John though, that this is affecting our fundraising.
Just lay it out for me,
Oh, you
and
know something, yeah.
I'll, let
It's
me
like-
see what I can do.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it's gotta be
Yep.
from a council
And the
member.
sooner the better, like to get it on the next agenda or something would be awesome, right?
Well, whether it's done on next agenda or whether I can just
Yes, exactly.
get a feel for what,
It's like.
because there's a process, and I don't wholeheartedly agree with the process,
Yeah,
trust me. I don't agree with some of the people involved in it, but there is a process, and it's there, and it's been there for a while.
It's
Agree
been
to
there 6
disagree
or
on it.
7 years. It's all between Tom Richards and that whatever his name is.
Yes,
Who thinks
Ben.
he's the only arborist in the,
Yep.
which he
And-
is not.
Okay,
No,
guys, let's
and-
move
But
on.
we'll get through it, just, but yes,
Gavel,
some of
gavel.
your stuff, then at least then I can wrap my head about, because I don't drive by there. And I will wholeheartedly work on that.
You should drive by there though.
Thank you.
It's a mess, John.
It looks like a crime scene. like
I
she said.
really,
Yeah.
if I don't come downtown during the week, it's okay with me right now.
Anything else on the boardwalk?
Nope, let's move on.
Okay. Parks Director report. Let me find it.
Mhm.
There's not that much on it, I'll be honest. Okay. Last night at council, the park bench donation form was approved. It's pretty basic. It just allows people to donate benches or plaques to existing benches within our parks and gives us just a system for it.
Yeah,
So someone
one-
can't come to us and say, you know, like.
No,
I
and
want
last
to
night,
here.
I liked your point last night, yeah.
it was brought up somewhere in this form, and I don't know if it's necessarily this one or somewhere when we do something. Can we put some information there if you would, I don't know how to word it, if there's something else that you would like
Talk about
to
Maggie's
do.
comment, I liked it too. Are you talking about that? Where like if there were
Yes.
other things.
Yeah,
that
and I
liked
said
it,
I would bring it
watched
up, I said I would bring
I
it up
agree
tonight.
with that too.
So
yeah.
if there, but somewhere in this thing, and council won't have a problem with it.
Yeah,
I think I can speak for that. But I think that would be good. I mean, yes, this speaks for benches.
I agree, but if we want all of our tables to match eventually, or we want something else, like that would be nice as well. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
I'd like-
I think I did. I liked her idea.
Yeah, I did.
I thought it was a great idea. But if there's somewhere that we can put in there, if you have a different idea to bring
Yeah.
out for discussion,
Yeah,
I'd like to see that.
yeah, we can stay on
somewhere
the
there.
forum if
I think,
benches isn't.
so we
like
just
a
finished the
closed door.
inventory. I think what we should do is make a wish list for the Parks Department, where we need benches, where we need tables, where we need umbrellas.
Well, benches are huge no matter where you're at.
They
you
are,
know,
but we,
but in
I
some
think if we
parks,
had a list of
tables
people,
are a little different, a little better gig. So,
And I don't think they need necessarily specific forms, because obviously a table is gonna be a lot more expensive than a bench. But
Correct.
it opens the door. if
but
someone-
they need to
yeah.
understand that. So a table, if
Right.
they want to donate a table, then a table's gonna cost this. If they want to do a bench,
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna
agree.
cost this.
Yeah.
But I think this is the perfect time to,
And it all came about because an individual wants to donate a bench to Zoll Street Park. And our only two memorial benches right now are on Glen Drive, where people don't see them, but I know once that bench goes in on Zoll Street,
and there's
we're
actually
gonna
one
get
for,
calls.
there's
So if
actually
you don't
one
have a
for Fort Park.
form, it'll be kind of a mess. So there has to be a process.
one thing Rachel and I did discuss is maybe for the downtown parks, we do want to standardize on kind of the green format.
Like
So
Marina Park
so it's
Green.
flexible where we
Yeah.
can move between the parks if
Yeah.
needed.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like our,
And to keep the
Our-
look just
our-
consistent.
Yeah.
our,
Now.
and even like where they want it, like on the form, they can request where the bench goes. But it says right on the form, that doesn't mean that is where the bench is going to go.
Mhm.
Like Marina Park has, what, 8, 9 benches? Like, we're not adding another bench to Marina
But
Park.
Rachel had.
right, but maybe that
A
bench
good
could
idea
slide
where-
over to,
Right, or you could do a
the
plaque on an
beach
existing
or,
bench.
you
She
know-
was saying, yeah, I like this idea, like you could put a plaque on an existing.
Yeah,
bench.
so you leave that option open.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
think
So that worked
that's,
out well. And then the weekend of the 4th was really busy. We had 0 hiccups down at the beach. The beach staff actually said it was the best 4th they've had in a long time.
So no lifeguards.
Oh, there were lifeguards down there. We were there. Cause I lifeguarded on Monday with them.
We went one day this week, no lifeguards.
No, on Tuesday and Wednesdays they're not there. Yep. Tuesday and Wednesdays, but on 4th of July weekend, they were there. The next big weekend will be Yugata Regatta for the parks. Park updates, the memorial bench was installed at Washington Street Access. Rob and I did that 2 weeks ago. I'm talking to Lucas about rearranging the basketball hoops at the skate park to make them half courts and having someone come in and line them. So we're in the works. I'm working with
Right.
DPW to get them available to do that. And then Dan and I talked about having a plan for taking, and it's more of a list than a plan, because we have a tree board. But if we notice dead trees or trees that need maintenance in parks, taking that list to the tree board.
This came up through the inventory and, this gets back to just trying to make the parks we have as nice as possible. And I think it's bad juju to have dead trees. So we may not replace
so
them,
that's-
but no tree is
That's
better.
that's a thing between tree board and the city.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would, or it'd be like we go to the tree
The
board
crew.
for a pot.
So that's a,
We're gonna make a list and hand it over. Yeah.
And then the Zorn playground parts have arrived and Lucas will schedule an install date.
awesome.
Good.
And it will be this summer. It will be soon.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
4 different people are really mad about that.
Yeah.
Have said to me, and I said, all I know is it's on in the works, so.
Step up to the list. It's like trying to get garage doors that are
Yeah.
6 months to a year.
Yeah, the parts took 4 weeks to even get here,
Yeah,
but the wood chips will come really quick. Those are already set up. And then Lucas, I mean, you need people to be able to put it in. I mean, his guys are on mowers every day, 8 hours a day. So
Mhm.
it's something that has to be planned.
Usually in August, the grass slows down,
Yeah,
right?
so they'll be able to do it then.
So Rachel, I have a
Yeah.
couple of comments. One is that there has been all summer a missing sprinkler head in Zorn Park. And it's across from it's north of the sidewalk, but what happens is that it floods every
Like a
single
month.
night. And there's like a little pond that happens,
yeah.
and the grass is all dead because of that.
Okay.
And I have a picture so you can identify where the
Yeah.
missing, it's just a missing
Will
sprinkler head.
you send that picture to me and
Yeah.
I
Yes.
thought I mentioned it to you, I'll double
Right.
check.
So, that, and then the other thing is, I go down most mornings to Marina Park and set up the games and whatever. And the way the grass is now is very strange to me. I don't know about grass, but so much of it looks like straw. Not that it's all worn out, but is there anything, Dana, or?
I don't know how often he's got the timer set to run the sprinklers, so
Well,
when
the
it's hot
sprinklers
like
are,
this.
believe me, the sprinklers are on every night.
Oh, yeah, they're
Didn't we
on.
change how
I
they
set up
fertilize?
the chess and checkers and the cornhole, they're
They
wet
didn't
every
do the full
morning.
treatment, but no, there wasn't.
Yeah, it's just weird
Fertilizing
the way
goes
the
through
grass
someone else.
looks. It's not like that it's just been trampled over, it's worn out.
Oh, it's getting a lot of use. I mean, I've been
Uh-huh.
down around there,
There's hundreds and thousands.
doing some
sometimes.
stuff for the chamber down there and
Yeah.
the gazebo with that brick. We're changing a bunch of stuff again, and every time I'm down there, there's always people in the park.
Oh, yeah, no question
So it's
about it.
getting used. So I mean, I think it might just be the fact that there's not a lot of base there. Cause all they did was put a couple inches of black dirt over
Right,
top of the
right.
gravel.
I think I know what you're
So
talking
there is not
about.
a huge
We've
amount
had
of
that at
base.
Zorn too, though.
You know
Yeah.
where the tennis
You know what I
courts were?
think you
Yes.
could
Yeah.
do is.
It just
Yeah,
looks, it
it's
just
sitting.
looks strange.
There's a
because-
couple inches of black dirt over top of
They
gravel.
that's another example. They took those tennis courts out and they didn't take time to do the job right,
I-
It's-
Yeah.
So
They didn't take
I
the-
don't know
yeah,
if
they
there's a
didn't, yeah.
solution, but it's, it's
I
like,
think that we have Rachel, to please call Dan's Green.
yeah,
Side
can
up
they
and
look
have him
at
come
that?
look
That's
at
what
it.
I'm asking.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Someone who
Yeah.
knows about this.
ultimately,
Okay.
Dan's
But the
comment
water,
is gonna
I
say to
mean,
rip it all
we've had some
out.
dry
put
days
it back in,
and
but-
sprinklers only gonna do so much.
I know, but
Like
Get
with
down
this
there with the
thing,
foot
like-
traffic.
this looks a
and
lot
everything.
different, like there was the 4th of July art fair in Zorn Park. And there's worn out grass where people walked. This is different. It looks different. It's not the same
Right.
situation.
I'll go look at it.
It almost looks like a weed coming up.
Yeah, it's weird. I
Yeah.
don't
Okay,
know- I
that's
don't
what
know what
you're,
it is.
that's what you're describing to me, yes.
Yeah.
It's just
So
strange.
that,
So
I think
those-
that's just, whether it's getting,
only those
Pest
two
control.
comments.
Okay, moving on, Rachel, should we give them an update on the master plan? So we're really trying to get that done so we can have a public hearing in August before the summer people leave. So what that requires is,
Did you want me to share
this is
this
the
or listen to
last,
me?
that's the very last section that needed to be done, right? I think pretty much. So this needs to go to Victor, and then Rachel's gonna send the whole master plan out to everybody on the board, so everybody can look at it and have any feedback they wanna have.
From what I heard, it's in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Who told you?
So we'll let everyone do their comments
Beautiful.
privately to me and I can make edits and then it has to go to public view for a month. And then hopefully it'll be to council by September. That's Victor and I's plan, September.
So does the public view for a month
Correct.
culminate in a meeting?
Correct.
So we need to get on that, like, if we can get that meeting scheduled like right now, so it can go in the paper, otherwise, I think you have to have
I'll have
notice.
to talk to Victor for
Yeah.
the date. We won't schedule that right now.
I know, but
But
yeah,
yeah. It'll be
I'm
the
just
next couple
afraid we're
weeks.
gonna run out of time. here.
No,
So in the middle of July, we got another month and a half yet. Don't rush summer yet, honey.
I know, but if we need 30 days.
It's just warming
notice,
up. We're
that's
just starting to get
mid-August.
that fun.
I know.
as long as we have it into DNR by October, we'll be more
Oh,
than
I
that.
see what you're saying.
More than that. I mean, they don't need it
Gotcha.
till February.
Yeah.
And our master plan actually is 2023. I'm not gonna do it for 2022, because why? 2022 is almost over. So.
Well, I think the idea
2023,
was
yeah.
to do it in time to get some of
Yes,
people's input,
yeah.
yes. Okay,
Well, we definitely want the survey and all that to be. We definitely want, you're right, the public hearing, we definitely want late August.
yep, let's see. So just a couple other things that kind of came up in my mind in the inventory findings. So right now, that big green area where the spillway goes through by City Hall is not officially a park, but it seems like it should be. What do you guys think?
The spillway, that's a park.
It
The-
is? What's
the
it
mulch,
called?
Like, are you,
Who's in there?
we just call it the spillway, I mean.
Well,
the
shall
shade
we
spillway.
have council like make a resolution to call it the Spillway Park, or do we just start calling it that?
No,
Oh,
it's
we
already,
call
it's
it,
just,
yeah.
it's just a park. That whole area's been a park
Yeah,
Does it have a
forever.
name?
sorry, we just always called it the Shea Spillway.
Yeah,
Chase Spillway
That's
Park?
what it's like
That's-
officially.
I think it says Shea Park, doesn't
Yeah.
it, John?
I think it does.
On Pine Street.
There's Shea Scenic
Yes.
Park, there's Shea Park.
It says
and there's
Shea Park,
Spillway.
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
that area
Shea
is-
Scenic Park that's up on Pine, then
Yeah.
there's Shea Park where the AHA
It's
is.
the last page.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Second thing, I think we need to discuss renaming Indian Town Park.
That would have to be through the tribe as well. I
Okay,
can't
so
just
maybe
be
that's
us.
a place to start is to
I think we
call.
When
need
you
to stay away
speak to
from
the
that
tribe-
subject for right now.
I
When you
think,
go to the tribe and you
I
go to
agree
their
with John.
historian, that's what they call it.
I
I
agree
think-
with John.
I think for right now, we
I
need to
do
stay away
too.
from that
Yep.
project right now,
Why?
because there are some things,
Well, this just goes in the inventory and we're gonna be putting in writing Indian.
there are some things
We need to stay
not,
away
that
from
are not
that.
public,
Yeah.
that I know about.
Well, I
We need-
know
we
about
need
it
to-
too.
We need
Yeah.
to just stay away from
I
that.
know,
right
but
now.
what do we put in the inventory?
It
Well,
should
we-
be Indian Town
It
Park.
remains Indian Park,
But
because that is what it's been.
we went to the historian for the tribe, he seconded that that's what they wanted it to be called. So,
Leave it,
That's what they
because it
wanted.
was always called Indian Town and it has been since I was
We
born.
questioned that as well,
But
but
But there's
leave
a
it
lot of
alone,
other things
because
like
whatever may or may not happen in the next 5 years,
Might be a reservation.
is gonna change everything.
it's
Down
probably
there.
something.
I don't know, I
Not gonna
disagree.
be-
I feel like, you know, maybe there's some locals that like are triggered by it and really unhappy by that name.
The majority of the locals sit on that board,
Yeah.
sit in that tribe. We leave that alone. We deal with what we need to deal with.
I agree with
There are,
John.
there's a development and some things coming
I know.
down there,
Mhm.
and
The only reason I agree with that is Victor and I had the same concern, but when we went to the tribe, they said not to change.
And it's
it
not,
Specifically.
you know, and calling it Indian Town does not offend anyone.
No, look at the Chippewas, I see
I
them.
heard, I really doubt that, but we can leave it alone. Okay, let's see. I was gonna suggest, Rachel, that on the website, we just have the downtown parks listed. Maybe now that we have this, we could update the website to add all the parks.
All of them?
Yeah. I think people that want to know information about parks should be able to go to one
Like-
place and see all the parks.
Which ones are we?
Everything but downtown.
We have downtown parks
Mhm.
and we have the beach, Zorn, Zoll Street, Ford,
So these are, yep,
Tourist, Jean, Shea.
these are just the downtown parks.
Yep, and then there's the sports parks,
Mhm.
so that's skate park,
Mhm.
pickleball
It
court.
just seems like it'd be nice to have on that website, like, here are all the parks in Harbor Springs.
There's two sites, what are we missing? It's not there.
Let's see, the two Glen Drive beaches,
Yeah,
we're
I would've put
missing.
those on
We're not
What?
supposed to publicize
there. I
those.
don't know if I would publicize those. I just think, I'm not saying never publicize them, but I think people on Glen Drive would have some comments if we did.
But
Cause there's
there
no
is-
parking.
Okay, so let's play
And it's
devil's
not really a
advocate right
beach.
now. I gotta agree with her,
Yeah,
put them on there.
yeah.
Well, because they're city parks. And right now, with all the bullshit going on amongst council and everything else, with everything else going on around here, townships want to try to rule the city. So those might sit in actually Glen Drive's not township.
Glen Drive doesn't even have a sign.
No, Glen Drive's not even township, so that's city property.
Yeah,
So we should advertise them.
but do we put a sign out then? It says
Well,
that it's there.
You know what? When it comes down to it, yes.
There isn't a sign right now, though.
No.
No, it's just a little
It's
trail.
real-
You
It's
wouldn't know it's
a,
there.
it's a go trail to a bench that allows
Oh,
you
yeah,
to
no,
sit
I go
there and
down
look
there all
at the
the time.
sunset.
Yeah.
Washington Street access, I can see. That makes sense. There are some parking spots there.
But realistically, we own that.
Yeah.
We own it.
And we should have a plaque that
advertise it.
said,
Wholeheartedly, advertising.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think so too, and you know, like there's other parks like the Shea Overlook Park that's in a neighborhood. You know, there's other parks in neighborhoods, so why should they not have their,
that up there is, that up here is advertised, and that's nice. We should
It is, but I
actually
mean,
start to
in the
look at
same
doing a little
token-
more with that.
yeah,
Down the road.
if that's advertised, then
Yeah.
so should Glen Drive.
Yeah.
Is what I
Yes.
think.
Advertise it. But a small, it doesn't have to be a billboard,
Mhm.
but. no, I
it
think
should,
we
it should be
advertise.
just a small sign right where that trail
Well, if
is.
people are
because you
walking down
really
through
have
there,
to-
they can walk through there.
Yeah.
You know
really
what?
have
And
to
then
look
if,
for it.
if the
Yeah.
homeowners on either side of it have an issue.
You will.
Well, they did.
Bring it, then,
Yeah,
well,
they
bring
did.
it to city council and then we can politely explain to them.
Yeah.
And then if I gotta be that guy, I'll explain to them, well, guess what?
Yeah.
And if
That was
you-
there long before you had your property, because I know the people on both sides. So,
And they'll,
Step right up.
sometimes the one guy will say something and I'll say, no, this is public.
Yeah,
And
he-
Yeah, it's an
and if he
access.
doesn't know, if you don't know that it's public property, then
we
it
went
kicks
to
you
the
off.
city before I got on, it's been going on, the Washington Street access is,
Yeah.
that's been up for debate for years.
I know,
We used to drive the four-wheel drive trucks right down there and get down there and drive all the way up to Sturgeon Bay
yeah.
back in the day. That's where, that was, so,
Who was at our last meeting who brought up the trimming at Washington Street access? We did mow that, by the way. That's an update. I didn't send DPW there. So it's been mowed.
Yeah, we shouldn't put we should.
but I
put
think a small
there,
sign,
yeah. We
nothing
should.
big or gaudy or anything
No,
about,
yeah.
a small sign saying that this is this is our park, and yeah,
Yeah.
put it on there. That way, if somebody wants to check it out, check it out.
Well,
They
that's
can't-
not
they
a
can't
little
control the
secret
beach
parking
anyway.
where everybody knows about it.
Honestly, I have no
I don't
idea.
even know.
I don't think,
the
I don't
address.
think
know how
it's
to
that
send someone there.
hospitable there.
What's
Did you
that?
go
I
to
don't
the
even know how to
beach?
send someone there. I would just say Glen Drive. I don't know what the address.
You
is.
can't, something, if you don't know where it's at, you can't really, there's an old,
It's tucked
get-
away, you can't.
yeah, there's an
Yeah,
old
hard to
gate
find.
post sort of, yeah.
Oh, it's right in between two driveways.
Well,
There's
little
no way to
line, and
park
there's
it.
2 parking spots like over to the side of the road.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are for also the conservancy.
yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I don't know if we talked about it in the meeting, but Rachel and I have talked about that it would be super fun to have a bonfire like at the end of the summer, like a community bonfire at City Beach.
City
We
Beach.
also could say we've got so much going on in the summer, we don't need to do that.
I think it all depends on how dry it is.
I would actually wait and maybe try to do a fall festival up at Kiwanis.
You wanna move it from Marina Park to Kiwanis?
Work in some frisbee golf, work in that park versus the beach.
I think we're sort of doing a tour of the parks, so, you know, we had Fall Fest at Marina
Well, the
Park,
beach,
then we had the Easter egg
Marina
hunt
Park,
at
well,
Soarin'.
Marina Park's getting used
Result.
by the chamber. You know, downtown gets used all summer long by how many events? You know, and whether we're advertising or tied to it, we're a part of that. So another thing, Kiwanis being, you know, kind of a year-round thing up there, there'd be something to do in the fall, after summer events are done down here. Car festival, music festival, all the festivals are done down here. Cause isn't the beer fest or something? There's talk about, I don't know if it's coming back. But
The thing with
it would just be my
Kiwanis,
thing,
that
whether
was-
we do a festival, whether we do something down here or up there, that would just be my,
You know,
My
and
two
I
cents.
think the Fall Fest in Marina Park was so successful for the first year.
what you guys did. Is that what you're talking
That's
about?
October
yeah.
1st.
Oh,
I don't
abs-
think
sorry,
we wanna
yes,
change that.
absolutely, I'm sorry, yes.
And I've
No,
had such great
misunderstood.
feedback.
Yeah.
So many,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
I take
young
that back.
parents about what a great event that was and.
No, you should definitely do that again. Yeah, I misunderstood.
As far as fire hazard goes, it'd almost be more dangerous at Kiwanis.
Well, I don't know, we don't need a fire pit down there for that. Do whatever you guys did for that festival with
That's the lowest.
everything going on down there, just do that again. I'll have a fire truck down there for the kids to play
Right, that
with.
was great.
Yeah,
So we'll look
This
into
would be
that
made
further.
possibly an end of summer event, though. Just bonfires on the beach is fun, and maybe it would be fun to do that at City Beach, or maybe everybody has had enough to do in the summer, they don't need one more thing to go to.
We'll play around with it and bring it back.
Well, let's see
Get
how,
some other dates.
things shake out.
Yep.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I think we should, whatever you guys did last year, I think that was phenomenal.
And that worked out well, because it was the last farmer's market day as well.
Yeah,
So
so people are in
it was a
town,
70
as long as the
degree
weather,
day
as
and fall,
long as the
so
weather's
everything
good.
kind of aligned for that.
Yeah.
And the banner says Marine Park, so I'm biased. I don't want to get any banner.
Yeah.
Yeah, do
Those
it.
are not cheap.
No, that was a great idea.
Who's got anything else to talk about? I think right now, just to summarize, then our main focus is getting the master plan done and getting that public hearing scheduled and getting money for the boardwalk. So maybe we're taking the next step to referring it to council to make things go smoother with this whole tree removal thing. Then we got some little odds and ends that, like the taking dead trees out and stuff like that. We had talked before about, do we want a table for fundraising for the boardwalk at Street Music? I don't know, I feel like that's as many like visitors to town that wouldn't donate as it is residents, so. I'd
I'll
be
grab the
te-
brochures after this.
I think
meeting.
there's enough stuff going on. I think
I
you guys are
do
doing
too.
farmer's market. You guys are, the word is out. There's flyers out. Things are out there. I think a lot of people are just sitting on their hands, waiting to see how things are gonna come together. Council level, we're talking about bid process and different things like that. So, for
I
next
think, are we
season.
kind of off the subject now of doing like a big party, like either at the Lyric or somewhere?
I think for now, we should probably, maybe in the fall. if we
That might be
keep
something to look at in the fall.
Yeah.
Maybe depending on a particular movie coming out or something like that,
Yeah.
we can look at something like that would be an idea.
Yeah, people
We'll
are
have a much better
so busy
idea.
with their own stuff.
We'll have a much better idea of where we're going,
Mhm.
in another month or two.
Yep. I think we have to get over this hurdle though with trimming business.
No, I agree. Something has to come full circle there.
Well, like I said, just email me and I will do what I
All
can do behind
know
the
is that
scenes.
The city, I don't know any of those specifics, I didn't know about a lawsuit or any of that stuff. But if the city is going to be suing some of our local people, that is
And that's
gonna
suing
be.
the local people, this would be the contractor. Oh,
Well,
He's
who's local?
Are you talking about Mark?
I'm sorry, I thought you meant like
Yeah.
people that lived
No.
on.
Oh, no.
No, that's all local games.
And
So
that's gonna be the
That's the
heart of
first I've heard
Harbor
of it,
Springs.
so just,
Yep,
yeah, so
and it's like this,
I'll try to play the peacemaker.
yeah,
there.
this city has so many other problems, they're really gonna be. And like I said, they let Mr. whatever, and I guess he's really nice, but they call that landscaper Rose, clear cut in front of that house, right down. McMurray, yes, and I've heard he's really nice.
He does
It was
very nice.
Joe, I think it was
Where is
the,
that from where you two are at?
well,
Down with the arch,
where
What's
Robert
yours
grew up,
say?
you knew where Robert grew up,
the
next,
third house.
you know where Wallstrom's,
Oh,
Mrs.
The
Wallstrom?
one, the big one.
The
you
big
just
one,
put in?
yeah. They cut all
Yeah.
those trees in front, and I walked down and I said, what are you doing? And they said, we're drost.
That's all city property.
It is, and I said, well, how did you get the permission? Because it was,
All right, no,
yeah, and that's when your
we're good.
dad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering, okay, did he get a big fine, which I hope he didn't, but if he didn't get a big fine, then you better not be going after a local boy.
I don't know, but I will.
Yeah, ask him about that, yeah,
I will look
yeah.
into it.
It was Drost Landscaping who did
Because I
that.
want this boardwalk thing. to go as
That's the
smoothly as
one I'm
possible,
thinking
so-
about. I did call Victor about it and he said it was not city property.
That is, you mean in front of that
Well, there's-
new house? In front of
There-
that new house?
I bet,
Yeah, that's city
I meant
property.
I don't,
Yeah,
I don't know if it is.
It is city
I
property.
don't know, because city property on West Hill is only like that first house. So depending on how that comes up through there, I don't know.
Yeah, it's city property because Robert grew up right next door and that was all city owned and it was, I remember that discussion. Plus, your dad told me, We were right on the, I said,
Wow,
John, how did
but
that?
trust me, there's been so many things
Yeah.
done with this whole bluff preservation
That is
stuff
city,
that.
that is definitely city property. Robert's parents
I-
they did not own over the bluff. That's city property unless that's changed in the last 10 years.
And I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm just saying.
Alright,
yeah,
I'll look,
yeah.
I will look into it.
Yeah, and I'm just saying that it's really too bad that there's no common sense anymore, and now, I mean, it
Well, I
looks
can
terrible,
wholeheartedly
you
agree
know?
with you on that.
There's no common sense, and that, I mean, it's a jungle down there. It's
I
just
deal
like-
with that every day.
But I also feel like I understand why the summer people and the other people, they're not gonna give a dime when they look at it and say the city doesn't take care of their property, you know? It's like when remember when the school wanted their millage and that was all overgrown in front of the school, and Betty Davis and I went and said, hey, you want more money, but look at this view, you don't even take care of it. Guess what? The next day, taken care of.
Gone.
So, yeah, I mean, gone and it looks, you know, it looks nice. But yeah, you gotta take, you know, people aren't gonna give money unless they think the city is taking care of what they're, you know, and all this pettiness
Don't
about,
disagree with you.
okay, so Mark cut, or whoever it was, I don't know anything about that, whoever cut it down. So maybe he made a mistake on city property, but you're really gonna, the city is gonna use our taxpayers' money to sue? I mean, it's just like,
Well,
ugh.
there's just some things we need to look into.
Yeah, it's just like.
But I'll
no
look, I'll look
com-
into it.
No common
See what I can
sense,
figure out.
John. It's just like, oh,
I don't know. I'm not in on this conversation.
yeah.
I will be.
I'm 22.
All right, guys.
And just really quick, I've received feedback from some people about this being in their tax bill. And it,
Oh, did they like it or no?
no, not at
they
all. Like here, you're getting my tax bill and then soliciting for more money.
didn't. I
So,
never thought about that.
It was-
Yeah.
yeah,
I had a neighbor
was in
complain
poor
to me
taste.
that everybody's
I-
asking for too much money, be it like private donations or be it
Mhm.
taxes
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
Headley override or whatever. So I don't know what you say about that.
I said I
It's the way the
definitely
world
knew that
is
I didn't
today.
send out
It's
tax
like-
bills.
Yeah,
There's golf outings every
Yeah.
day, there's this,
Yeah.
that, I mean, there's entities
You
all over
don't
the
have
place.
to participate, but what else?
Well-
And they probably did that to save on a mailing.
And John, and when they did the Lyric Theater, I think only 3 businesses in town donated to that. Because the businesses get hit up all the time.